Hey guys, I'm Dave Welch here with my weekly ETF and stock updates for ARK G, ARK K, and ARK Q, and other stocks that I find relevant to keep my portfolios growing. Today I want to talk about the following. Number one, an index fund that has performed better than ARK K investments in the past year. Number two, ARK trading activity. Number three, Tesla update. And number four, my sister Debbie's memorial stock list. So here we go. I invest everything I have into ETFs. However, I like to research individual stocks that are relevant to the growth of ETFs that I own or would like to own. One such ETF that was referred to me by a family member is First Trust NASDAQ Clean Edge Green Energy Fund, ticker QCLN. QClean, otherwise known as QCLN, is an index fund and not actively managed fund like ARK. This ETF follows and tracks the equity index called the NASDAQ Clean Edge Green Energy Index. I'm using my TD Ameritrade app on my iPhone to illustrate. QClean has risen almost 250% over the past year, which is way better than the S&P 500 detailed in the gray line. This performance is better than the ARK funds as compared to the S&P 500. Here's ARKQ as compared to the S&P 500, and it's risen about 129% over the past year. ARKG has risen 207% in the past year compared to the S&P 500. Here is QClean compared to ARKK. ARKK is the gray line, which has risen about 170% over the past year. And the next slide is QClean compared to ARKG over the last year. You'll notice that the two are very similar. However, both are very different themes. Of course, ARKG follows the genomic sector compared to QClean, which follows the green energy stocks. Now for the ARK trading activity this week with a notable change to ARKQ. This is the ARK trading desk from January 11th. And let's see, we have trades with ARKG Genomics, trades with ARKK Innovations, and then ARKQ, which is the Robotics and Industrials ETF. So anyway, starting at the top, we've got some quite a few buys in the genomics, Bristol Myers Squibb, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Takeda Pharmaceutical, Vertex Pharmaceutical, Pacific Biosciences was a sell of just 0.25% of the ETF. And I would assume, again, that's from trying to keep the portfolio balanced, because Pacific Biosciences is their number one or number two holding, depending on the market fluctuations. Then moving on to ARKK, they picked up about quite a few shares of 10-cent holdings. Regeneron again in this fund also has Regeneron. Then Novartis, they picked up a small percent of its shares. And then Organovo, very small sell, just 12,000 shares sold. Seres Therapeutics, they sold a very small number of shares. Then Compugen, another sell, small number of shares. And then another sell of Veracyte, very small number of shares. Moving on to ARKQ, we have a large purchase of Lockheed Martin. This is the largest purchase of all these ETFs listed here. I look back at December 31st, Lockheed Martin was not in this fund. So I'm not sure when they added Lockheed Martin, but they definitely picked up about 1% of the ETF in the number of dollars for Lockheed, or number of shares for Lockheed Martin. Then they picked up some Experience Investment Corp, small percentage. Elbit Systems Limited, very small percentage. I'm not even sure why they even did that. Teledyne Technologies, they bought some shares and they sold FLIR and Splunk, but not the whole thing, just a small number of shares. Tesla has been in the news this week. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has recommended a recall of over 150,000 Model S and Model X cars due to potential touchscreen failures that could cause a lack of access to autopilot, climate control, and backup cameras of these vehicles. Tesla has until 27 January 2021 to respond to the NHTSA with either compliance or a disagreement explanation. I would now like to talk about a stock list I created on my TD Ameritrade account in the name of my sister Debbie, who recently passed away due to a neurological disorder. Debbie is the inspiration as to why I've started investing in genomic stocks. I don't know much about the genomics or pharmaceutical investing space, so I invested in ARKG. ARK Genomic Revolution Multi-Sector ETF managed by Cathie Wood. As I detailed before, ARKG has performed just as well as QCLN. Both ETFs have performed better than the other ARK investments and far better than the S&P 500 this past year. I'm going to continue to invest in ARKG for the foreseeable future, even through market corrections by dollar cost averaging, which means I'll continue to buy this ETF through its ups and downs on a regularly set schedule on monthly buys. Yes, you can say that I am long on ARKG. Regarding QCLN, I am still interested in this fund, and I might pick up some shares when the market dips. Please click the like button and subscribe below, and leave a comment on what ETF you think might outperform ARK investments. Thank you all for watching, and take care. Bye.